Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Balanced Blonde podcast, Soul on Fire. I am so happy to have you listening today. We have some very special guests today. We have my amazing father, Byron, who has become quite famous on my Instagram and Instagram stories. He's sitting here next to me laughing. And we have my amazing mom, my best friend in the whole entire world, Dirty Martinis and Skinny Jeans on Instagram if you want to find her. Incredible fashion blogger, most likely wearing color-coordinated aloe yoga at the moment because she got a huge aloe yoga haul the other day and it looks amazing on her. So I convinced them to come on the show to talk about everything from what it is like to raise. Well, I'm 28, to have a daughter with Lyme disease and a daughter who's so into spirituality and doing all these off the wall things like ayahuasca and plant medicine and just living a super spiritual lifestyle all around. We also talk about being married for 35 years, what their keys to a happy marriage are, how they met, how they raised me, and what they feel contributed to instilling self-confidence in me and all sorts of other things. So it's a really fun episode. So happy that they recorded this with me because, as you know, if you've listened to this podcast for a while, then you know that I'm taking some time off right now and thinking about potentially releasing less episodes per month, which I haven't fully decided on yet, so I'm not entirely sure and we'll have to see. But doing easy episodes like solo episodes and episodes with my family, and hopefully we'll get Jonathan on here soon and maybe even Hudson through Miranda, the amazing animal communicator who's been on this show twice before, just to keep things nice and easy for me and doable, because got to keep it doable so I can get things out right now and talk to you guys. And I'm working on my Soul on Fire intuition and manifestation course. So that's where I'm channeling most of my energy right now. And if you're interested, you can email Jane at thebalancedblonde.com, my lovely assistant, and she will add you to our list of people who are going to be the first to hear about the course. Super excited about it. Cannot wait to share more with you. And yeah, as for what else I'm up to right now, I'm taking it really easy. I'm basically making no plans whatsoever with anyone, doing nothing. Even going to the doctor's office a little bit less, which is incredible because I'm getting less IVs right now than usual. And just taking it really easy, staying home a lot, and it feels really good. So yeah, I want to update you guys all about how the rest is serving me so well. And for now, just know that I feel really good with the amount that I'm resting and healing and focusing on getting better to restore myself to my full energy and full health levels. So glad you guys are here. Definitely, if you listen to this episode, share with me on Instagram and Instagram stories so that I can see that you're listening, and my parents will be so excited. And also, if you feel inspired to rate and review the podcast, you can send me a screenshot of your rating and review to Jordan at thebalancedblonde.com. And I will thank you by sending you my 200-page yoga ebook with all sorts of yoga flows and poses and introduction to yoga. It's a great place to get started or to go deeper into your practice. So that's just a thank you for taking the time to rate and review the podcast, because it really means a lot to me and is super helpful for me, for visibility of this show and getting our high vibe message out to as many people as possible. Also, before we dive into this episode with my mom and dad, I just want to thank our incredible sponsor for today's episode, Hum Nutrition. So, Hum Nutrition, I think a lot of you know, is the beauty supplement company that I've been using for many, many years now. They have the cutest packaging, and everything of theirs is top quality, organic, non-GMO, scientifically proven, sustainably sourced, super premium quality, gluten-free, etc., etc. All the different things that make Hum Nutrition so incredible. So you can use the code SOUL, SOUL, at checkout to get 20% off of anything that you order on humnutrition.com. I'll tell you about what a couple of my favorite products are, but also know that you can talk to a nutritionist on humnutrition.com. You can take a super quick, 3-minute quiz to see what kind of supplement is best for you if you're not sure where to start with supplements. And they always have lots of great deals going on, but I think the best deal is SOUL, SOUL, for 20% off. They have a new supplement that I'm looking at here on their website that I just started taking, which is their Skin Heroes Pre and Probiotic, which is so good for skin, so good for the gut. People always ask me, what do I do for acne and how to get skin so clear, because my skin was super messed up for a long time. Now is very clear. And I take this pre and probiotic from humnutrition.com. I also take their daily cleanse, which helps to cleanse toxins from the liver, from the skin, and basically from the body all around. I take their Flawless and Fearless, which is a 14-day pack, which also helps reduce breakouts, has lots of different detox minerals and herbs, is full of green algae and chlorella and all sorts of other things that make up a healthy diet. So check out humnutrition.com. Use the code SOUL, SOUL, for 20% off. And I know you guys will fall in love. So let's head into this episode with Byron and Jane, otherwise known as my incredible parents. Okay, I'm here with the two most important people in my life. Although I guess you could say Jonathan and Hudson are the other two most important people in my life. But I'm here with Byron and Jane, Dirty Martinis and Skinny Jeans, my dad and my mom. And I'm so happy that you guys are here.
We're so happy to be here.
Yes, we are. Soul on fire.
Soul on fire, baby. So people have been requesting this episode quite a bit to have you two on to discuss everything from what it's like to parent someone with Lyme disease and also to parent someone who's super spiritual and super out there and very into things like ayahuasca and meditation and all sorts of other things. And also just to talk about your fabulous relationship, being married for how many years?
It'll be 35.
35?
Yeah.
35.
January.
Oh my God. I feel like it was just 30.
It's great.
Yeah, it goes fast.
I know. It's so crazy. So we'll talk about everything. I think before we get started, we'll tell everybody what your human designs are because people love that. I remember yours. My mom's like, no, I don't remember. So, Mom, you're a projector.
Oh, yes.
Which is a non-energy being. And Daddy, what are you?
A reflector.
Yes. You and I are both reflectors, 1% of the population. Absolutely crazy. When I learned that, I went crazy.
Yeah.
I was screaming.
She did.
I was so excited.
We are a little odd.
We are a little different. We're very
I
different.
can attest to that.
Yes, but it's crazy to have a family with 3 non-energy beings. Like, what an interesting family that we have. That
Yes,
you're the
it is.
projector, and we're both reflectors. We go to you for everything. We rely on our projector very much.
Our
Yes, you
support
do.
system
Yes.
sitting over there.
And I'm in the middle.
Exactly.
Always. I've
Yeah.
always been in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
You can't win.
I know. But then it's interesting if you think about it, because like Missy and Jeff, if you think about their family, which everybody listening, that is my sister and her husband and her kids are manifesting generators and generators. So they're all energy beings. They're like completely different. But yeah, you gave birth to a generator.
That's how I am. You know?
You're so prolific.
I like energy.
Yes. And then I don't know what Lisa and Christian are, but I would like to figure it out. What do you think they would be?
God, I mean, I really have no idea what I think. Yeah. I don't know.
Do you think that they would be more like you and I or more like Missy?
Probably Christian would be more like myself, and probably Lisa too, because they're both, you know, kind of mild individuals, where Missy's more, you know, out there.
You're not mild though.
No, I'm not. No,
just because you're a reflector doesn't mean that you have to be like not have energy. It's just like your energy type, the way that you exchange energy with the world.
But Missy's energy is more like ours is. You know? Yeah, you and I.
Yeah, although she is a generator and lives a generator, although I would have bet anything that she was a reflector. You know?
Yeah, it's interesting.
I know. So Olivia is my niece, everyone listening. She's 10 and she has such reflector energy. I was like so ready to find out that she was a reflector and take her under my wing and teach her all the reflector things. She's a generator.
Yeah. She's very introverted right now, so it's hard to tell. She can come out of she can grow out of that.
Yeah, well, she's a generator.
She won't grow out of
emotional authority,
human design.
No, but it's amazing that she's a generator, and that makes sense because she can generate. She can be on her own. She can play by herself for days. You guys know this, so she can just generate her own lifestyle.
That's true, totally.
Yeah, so in a way, it makes sense. So, I don't even know where to start. Why don't we start with a question that a lot of people had for you guys, which is, how did you meet?
Oh, how did we meet? I saw your mother at market when she had her clothing store, and my ex had a clothing store, and we would go to market together. And I remember seeing your mother at market, you know. And so then after we got separated, might have been 6-8 months later.
You and your ex-wife?
Yes. Well, I wasn't married to your mother then, so she wouldn't have been an ex.
Okay, you're right. Yeah. I'm just making it clear for everyone listening.
I knew, well, my ex had a partner who was friends with your mother, and I asked her to introduce us. So we went on a blind date.
Yes.
With her partner couple. And her husband.
And how did it go? What did you think of him when you saw him? I mean, I already knew what he looked like. And it was, it was fun, but it was a little awkward and a little what's the word? Like almost like a little strenuous or something.
Yeah, no.
Why?
It was, conversation was not easy. Didn't flow easily. It just felt a little awkward. Our first couple of dates, we went on another date, seemed kind of awkward. And I was left with the feeling that perhaps he was still in love with his soon to be ex-wife.
Yeah, I mean, you
Interesting.
gotta understand that, when you get married at 19, I never really was out in the dating scene, and so it was very difficult for me to all of a sudden be out there. It's just such an awkward feeling.
Yeah. I mean, dating, because you had
Totally.
been married for 16,
18 years.
18 years. So, yeah, imagine not dating for all that time. Everybody listening, I think it would be pretty awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I went from, being at home with my parents to being married. So it's not like
You were never out there dating.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I never lived on my own, never been out, so it was just, I had a different background than, say, what your mother had,
Right. Well, obviously things turned around because you did get engaged and married rather quickly.
Yes, we did. A year later, we got married.
Yeah, it was a year.
So things became less awkward, more fun. When did it turn around?
Well, that's a story
Yeah.
in and of itself. But
Wait, what is it?
I'm sure you've heard it.
Well, let's hear it.
Oh, Jordan, you've already heard it. No, it was just that at some point, his ex-wife, moved back into the house and wanted to get back together. And I think all that had to happen in order for him to move forward. He sort of had to get that out of his system.
Yeah. Well, I have been separated long enough to know that I didn't want to live like that anymore. And so meeting your mother and, having dated for a little while and determining what type of person I needed in my life versus what I had, it took that realization, I guess, for her to come back, my ex, and for me to determine this is not what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there was a short period where she was back and you were deciding what you were going to do. And so obviously we didn't see each other during that time. And then a few weeks later, he called and said that he had made a decision that he didn't want that anymore and she was moving back out of the house. So at that point, we started dating again and did move relatively quickly after that.
And then you're like, okay, I want to marry this person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in, I mean, it wasn't like right away, but
Right.
I mean, we were in Hawaii, I think, with Janet and Randy, weren't we?
My dad loves to talk about people as if you guys know who they are.
Nobody knows.
Shout
anyway,
out to Janet and Randy.
When we were in Hawaii on vacation and kind of talked about, the possibility of getting married and, what we wanted to do. And so that's kind of basically when we decided. I think that might have been, like August.
So that was your very romantic way of proposing.
Yeah, I didn't drop
Having
down on
there was no
me.
proposal. It was
about
just a
getting married. It was
And I
very
think
equal then.
I was 30 and you were 38.
Mm-hmm.
And the timing was such too that it just felt like the right time, at least in my life, to be getting married and moving
Becoming
forward.
a stepmother.
Becoming a stepmother of 3, which of course, was shocking.
We tried to warn you.
Yes. Everyone tried to warn me how difficult that could be, but I just didn't understand that somehow. And it was very difficult. But we got through those years with a lot of help and therapy and support. We persevered and got through it, and I'm glad we did.
Thank God you did.
Thank God.
Then along came
Jojo.
A little
our
6 years later.
reflector being your real challenge. That's for sure. So then along came me.
6 years later.
When you guys were quite happy together, thankfully for me.
Yeah, worked out our problems.
Yes. And so a lot of people had the question, they wanted to know, how did you instill such confidence and self-esteem in me?
Well, we were talking about that a little earlier, and we think it's a combination of you were just born that way. You just came out that way. And I mean, we tried to instill confidence and by encouraging you all the time and telling you could do anything you wanted to do, and you were so smart and you were so sweet and you were so good. I mean, we tried to tell you those kinds of things and make you feel really good about yourself, but it wasn't hard because you already did. And then the school that you went to was helpful with that too, because they really encouraged creative thought and self thought, and had you up speaking in front of groups, and right away from preschool on,
which I loved.
And you loved it right away. Whereas I would have been the opposite and always hated getting up in front of anybody and talking. But the school encouraged it. We tried to be super encouraging, and you were born that way. So it was never really an issue. We and you were fortunate with that.
You know, you had the opportunity to be in plays, and you had the opportunity to, public speak. And, I'm sure that all helped you become a writer that you are today. And, they were very liberal, and the classes were somewhat small. So you got a lot of attention from the teachers, and they let you kind of progress at your own speed. And so it was good for you,
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I mean, you were exposed to a lot of different things, traveling and dance classes and piano and anything that you showed an interest in, gymnastics. So you got to do a lot of things and try a lot of new things. And that probably helped also.
I think so too. Got to try everything until I landed on what I loved.
Yes.
Which was always writing.
Yes, you always loved to write and draw.
Yeah, 90-paged books in 2nd grade, 4th grade, and draw my tall, skinny people.
Totally.
Yeah, you were always very self-confident because, you could go away, by yourself to summer camp or away to school, summer school, or to a drama camp or what, and not think anything of it. Where I would always admire that, because I would be, here I am in my 40s and I couldn't do that. And so it was always amazing to me how easy it was for you to do those things.
Yeah, I loved it. Just a brief interruption from this episode with my parents to tell you about our second sponsor for today's show, Art of Tea. So I've gotten super into starting my day every day with a delicious herbal blend of tea. And I love Art of Tea for so many reasons, mostly because they have a Ayurvedic background. The founder of Art of Tea spent a lot of time studying Ayurveda and traveling all around the world. So he brings all of his incredible Ayurvedic knowledge to the brand. My favorite is their Pacific Coast Mint. I love drinking mint tea before I have breakfast every morning. It's the one thing that I have found really, really helps my digestion, helps food go down a lot easier. I have a lot of digestive issues, which I think a lot of you know. And having this delicious blend of organic spearmint and organic peppermint is really, really helping me out with digesting food. So check out Pacific Coast Mint when you go to artoftea.com. And don't forget to use the discount code BLONDE, BLONDE, which gives you 20% off of anything that you order at artoftea.com. On their blog, they have lots of different recipe ideas and education about tea, basically why herbal tea is an oxymoron. I've learned so many different things on their blog and their site. They have everything from matcha, which I know so many listeners love, to completely caffeine-free teas. They have all sorts of wellness blends where you can focus on different things like breath and sleep and chill and digestion, the gut, and all sorts of other things. They even sell cute ceramic mugs. Everyone's always asking me, where do you get your mugs and all of your Instagram stories? So I like to get them here on Art of Tea's website. You can check out all their different collections. They have an iced tea collection. I'm a huge iced tea person, and I just love the people behind this company. Their founder is so passionate, Steve Schwartz, and he started it in LA in 2004. So you know you're supporting a company with incredible values and lots of different education and delicious teas. So head to artoftea.com, use that code BLONDE at checkout, and enjoy. I was so much more go with the flow back then than I am now. Now, if anything is off in my day-to-day or my routine, or I have to go somewhere that I don't want to be, I lose my mind.
Yeah, that's true.
But as a child, I didn't. And I remember you guys would always tell me that you were so glad that I had a lot of friends and that I was nice to everybody and that I was always happy and always like nice to my friends and that kind of thing. You always told me that. So then I always knew, okay, that's a good thing. So I'll keep doing that. So that was a good thing that you guys would say.
And that's remained the same too.
Yeah, I have the same friends.
Yes.
Yeah, you do, which is nice.
I know.
Friendships that you've had for a long time, you know. We're very fortunate.
Love those people. It was so fun when we made our wedding website and we got to write like a paragraph about each person who's in our wedding. Have you guys seen it?
No, I want to see that.
You have to go to jonathangetsYounger.com. And everybody who's listening, if you want to see our wedding website, you can check it out. And at first I just wrote like a little blurb about each person. But then Jonathan wrote his and they were like vows to each groomsman. They were so sentimental and so nice. I mean, like
he's a good writer too.
His groomsmen would look at them and cry. Like Josh cried. I mean, they were just like, oh my God. So then I went and I redid mine because mine were just
stepped up your game.
Yes. But I feel like I tell my friends all the time, like how much I love them. So I was just writing like,
that's true.
These are our memories, blah, blah, blah. But then I totally changed it and addressed it to each person the way that he did. But it was so fun to do that and to think about the friendships like with Katie and Danielle that I've had for a lifetime and others who I met in college, etc. It's really fun. Brianna,
It's
literally
great.
a lifetime.
Yes.
So cool.
I love that about you. I love how you have so many friends and you have kept so many friends.
Yeah, you keep in contact and you keep up with your friends, But, in today's world, that's so much easier with social media.
Yeah,
like
it's
it is
true.
to stay in touch with people where, years past, you could be good friends and then you get married or you move from one city to the other and you lose touch, where today it's different, which is good.
Totally.
That's true.
One of the good things about social media.
Yes, one. You guys are the same way, though. You, Daddy, have had the same friends since forever, and you have a lot of friends from a long time ago too.
Yes, but I don't think we have as many as you.
Yes, it's different. It's just different.
It does, and friendships change and evolve and ebb and flow. But we do have a core group that we always go back to.
Mm-hmm. That have always been there.
And, when you're born in a city and you grow up there and you are still there, and, my generation, a lot of people didn't move around a lot. So that's why I have such, close friends that I grew up with still today.
Right. Because everybody's still in Sacramento.
Right.
You're the one who's not, because you're back and forth.
Back and forth, but I'm still there.
I know. I just wanted to see. I wanted to see what you would say. My dad is very resistant to full-time moving to LA, but that's fine. Back and forth is good. I'll take it.
It works.
I'm very happy with the back and forth. So when I started blogging full-time, when I told you guys that I was going to leave grad school and pursue this blogging thing as a job, what did you think? And when did you first start to recognize success with the blog?
Well, I was very resistant because I thought you were crazy. And,
good reason to be resistant.
I'm a dinosaur, so I'm not, on social media and wasn't in tune with how the world was moving. So, I thought that you leaving graduate school after the first year was a mistake. But, you've always been so persistent and ground me down to the point where, okay, I told myself you can always go back.
Right.
So let's see what happens, and so you proved me wrong.
Hell yeah. What did you think?
Pretty much the same. It seemed like, well, why don't you just finish? You only have one more year and you'll have that, and then you can do what you want. But as Dad is saying, you were persistent AF, which is your personality. And really, once you get an idea in your head, there's no sense wasting your time trying to talk you out of it. Just, you're going to do it. So we might as well hop on board.
You saying she's
get on the
hard-headed?
train or get off.
Yeah. And it, of course, it turned out great. And like Dad, well, we just didn't realize either what was happening in the world. I mean, the world took a big change. I was on social media and I still didn't realize the extent that becoming an influencer, blogger, how much the world was going to go that way.
I don't think anybody knew. I didn't know at that time.
You must have had an inkling.
I did, but I didn't know that this would turn into such an industry. I just saw this is something that I could do, that I really enjoy. I have this audience, so things can't really go wrong, even if it doesn't turn into like, a super lucrative job.
Yes.
I could do things on the side. I didn't really care. I had no idea that things were going to like explode in this industry.
But it really didn't take long before we saw
Yeah,
Hey,
that first year.
You can really make a living at this.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I would have never dreamed.
It turned out to be, of course, the best decision ever because you were happier, and self-sufficient, just doing what you loved, which is the best part about it.
It is.
And not everybody can be motivated to work from home and be successful because there could be a lot of distractions, and you're not like that. So you're pretty driven, and that's important. You're self-motivated, and you've become very successful. So you need to be proud of yourself for that.
Thank you. Well, I remember slightly differently. I mean, I remember that you guys were hesitant, but I also remember being on the phone with you, Daddy, in my tiny little bedroom in New York. That was more of a closet. And I had those like closet doors shut, but really they were not really even doors to the rest of the apartment. And I was like sitting on the bed, and it was nighttime in New York and probably nighttime in California too. And saying like, I just don't know if I really want to finish grad school. And you said, in my memory, then don't. You should definitely try out the blog full time, because if you're putting like a little bit of energy into it now and finding success, then imagine how much more success you'll have if you can put more energy into it. And you did say you can always go back to grad school, but I remember that and I was like, wow, that was way easier than I thought.
That must have been after we had some time.
Right.
I think you had brought it up before that.
Probably.
Yeah, that was after you ground me down, because I remember being very resistant in the beginning, because you'd always talked about, I want to be a writer, I want to write books, I want to this, that, and you were doing so well in graduate school that it was like hard for me to understand why you wouldn't want to finish. But
yeah.
So you had to put that in my head for a while, I'm sure, for me to change my mind, because that's just my nature.
I probably was talking about it for longer than I remember.
Yeah.
I think I was talking about it before I even thought I was actually going to do it, which was probably good for me that I kept
You were laying
the
groundwork.
I was. But isn't it interesting that then I left grad school, and within like a month, I did have a book deal and I wrote my first book. And I remember people at grad school, like Paul, the amazing Paul, saying, like, that's what we're in school for. That's what everybody's in this program wants. And this is what you're doing. So I was always getting little affirmations from the universe that I was making the right decision and that I was in the flow. I was totally in the flow.
Yeah, you really were.
Yeah.
Following my intuition, following every impulse without even knowing why.
Yeah.
And you were on the, so-called cutting edge of influencers at the time. You didn't hear about influencers and advertising being at the cost it is, that it's a lot cheaper for them to use people like yourself than it is to radio, TV, newspaper, it's just the way the world was changing. Yeah. And you were kind of out front there a little bit, which was very fortunate for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm so glad that I started when I did. Feel very grateful that the universe pushed me in that position, and I was just inspired to start when I was. And I never wanted or tried to make it a career, which is why I think it became one, because I was totally surrendered to whatever was going to happen.
Yes, what you always have been, or at least since you went into the world of working, and you're very fluid and you change and move with the times or with your passion, and it works out that way. It's probably the best way to be. Yeah. And you're able to keep almost reinventing yourself.
Yeah, I feel like every year I reinvent myself, more or less. It's fun.
Yeah, and it's not, it just happens organically.
Yeah.
Well,
As you
try.
grow and as your interests change or as life happens.
Well, when you're doing what you love, it just becomes so fluid and easy. You don't have to work at it because it's a passion that you have.
Exactly.
And
Right.
I mean, you're very fortunate to be able to work from wherever you are on your laptop, and you don't have to go to an office every day, and you have the flexibility to be down the street at Alfred's, doing your work, or being at Soho House, or being in Hawaii, or being wherever you are in the world, you can still work, which is a great gift.
It is. It's
Totally.
so cool.
And I think that's where, too, your generation differs a lot from ours, is that when we were growing up and starting careers, it was like you maybe chose a career or you fell into a career and you stayed with that.
Right.
It wasn't like a thought, oh, I'm going to stop doing this and do something totally different. You didn't do that as easily or as commonly.
No, you didn't.
You
And
just
most people didn't have the
stuck
confidence
with
to
it.
make a change.
Mhm.
That's why so many people get stuck in what they're doing, and then financially they can't afford to take a risk and
Right.
make that change. So, yeah, I mean, you see
you've
so
really
many.
shown, at least me, a different way. And also that it's not too late. People can just start something new at any point in their life.
Yeah.
No, they
It's
can.
never
Yeah.
too late. That's
No.
what's so cool. You have a fashion blog.
And at almost 65, I'm an assistant for a social media star.
Yes, the best assistant that exists. And you're learning new things all the time.
Yes. I
How to
am.
use different programs on the computer, how to make invoices, which we're going to work on. And Daddy, you can reinvent yourself too. And you have
He has.
house flipping, which you only started like a handful of years ago in your 70s.
Yeah, no, you got to go back to the basics, sometimes. And yeah, that's all I know. So it's what you do.
Yeah, it's cool. So speaking of shifting perspectives and trying new things, you read a book that totally shifted your perspective on life, money, but also life, I would say. Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. We shared about it on Instagram, so some people know this, but tell us. Well, first of all, we're going to put a link to this book in the show notes because people should definitely read it. But also tell us what you got from that book.
Well, it gives you a different perspective about money. Most people in the world have a fear that we don't have enough. Whether it's enough money or enough material items. I mean, we're in a world where, the TV or, the movies. I mean, everybody's trying to keep up with the next person and
Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, everybody sees the beautiful people, the nice things, the beautiful cars. I mean, and so we lose sight of what money really is. And that's what the book points out, is that a lot of times, and in my particular case, you don't know when you have enough because you're always striving to get more. And we put an emphasis on that. And it's kind of the wrong way to think about it, I mean, money doesn't make you happy. And there's a lot of very wealthy families that have lots of money that have ruined generations of kids, become drug addicts or alcoholics or dependent on their parents. And I mean, they just don't function well. So it's a very good book. And, when you have more than enough, you have money to help other people, to make the world a better place. And so when you're in the hunt, you don't even realize some of these things. And that's what the book points out, which is a very good read for everybody to understand and to get over the fears of not having enough. Good. Everybody should read it.
Definitely. I'm going to start reading it very soon. I have a list of books that I'm reading and starting to read, but that one goes along with everything that I'm focusing on learning right now. Although I do believe I already think that way for the most part.
I mean, there's a lot of things in the book that
could still learn a lot. I heard something interesting the other day with the shamanic healer who I was with last Friday, Mama Medicine, a week ago, although that feels like a lot longer ago.
Yeah, it does.
She told me something, which was that, because I've been talking to her for a while about like shifting my business and working less so I can heal, working with less brands and doing less things that I don't feel completely passionate about, which is so different for me because that's the way that I make money and have been very successful with for a long time. And she said, when you're doing things for money that aren't completely in alignment with your passion, the universe will find ways for that money to leave you anyway. It's almost like gaps. She said, like, there's like gaps around your energy field where the money will fall away. So like, I'm like, okay, I'll do this because it's like a few $1,000s. But then later that month, I'll get like a random bill for a couple $1,000s for my Lyme treatment or Jonathan's ayahuasca retreat, which he's not going on, but it's non-refundable. So I see, like, she couldn't be more correct.
That's fascinating.
It's just like all those interesting little things where I'm like, yes, I'll take on one more sponsor because I feel like that's the smart thing to do. It's what I've always been told I should do. Well, that's what the world tells us we should do to be smart, quote unquote, and like save up. And here I am, like losing it to all these random gaps and $1,000 ozone treatments and that kind of stuff.
That's interesting.
So I thought about you, Daddy, just your history and some things that have happened.
I mean, when you're always in the chase, you make unwise decisions. You put yourself in position to maybe lose the money.
So like if you're doing things for the wrong reason or taking jobs or doing investments for the wrong purpose.
To get more, And
it's also like what you're saying too is, I think this is what you're saying is that more is not always better. And that's what she was telling me is like more is definitely not always better, especially at the expense of your health and your well-being. And you have more than enough and you're totally comfortable. So why do you still feel the pressure?
Well, it's how we've been raised and programmed, as adults in this country. And that's the way the world is moving, so it's
hard get older,
for everybody to understand it,
As you get older, you have new fears of outliving your money.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that fear that have more than enough and they won't run out of money. It's just it's a mindset,
Yeah, I think people who fear that the most are sometimes the people who have a lot to begin with.
True.
Because if you don't have a lot to begin with, some of the people who I've met in the world, and I know you told me that she talks about this in the book as well, people who I've met on Sumba Island off the coast of Bali who live in a village and build their own bamboo huts and live with their whole entire village, and they catch their own food and they share everything together, and all they eat is rice and coconuts and fish, are the happiest people that I've ever met. Like, permanent smiles on their face, so proud to show you the houses that they've built for themselves, and they take care of their elders, and like the whole village raises each child. Such happy people.
No, and the book points a lot of this out. People in the Amazon, people in Africa that have nothing, and how happy they can still be. And I mean, so it's, there's no question that is true,
Very interesting.
Yes, it is.
Makes me think about all of the gaps in my energy field, sealing them up. Okay, so probably the biggest question that I get in general from everyone is, how do I take care of my hair, and what kind of products do I use to keep my hair so healthy and so shiny? And what I absolutely love and use all the time is Living Proof. I love, love, love to use their award-winning dry shampoo. It is natural. There are absolutely no phthalates in it, which I used to pronounce as phthalates. So if anyone's wondering what phthalates are, that's what they are. They are toxins, and you do not want them in your hair products. They also don't use silicone, parabens, and animal testing. So they're completely cruelty-free, which is very important to me. I try not to use any products that are not cruelty-free. Living Proof actually delivers results while being completely natural, which is no wonder why they've won 8 Best of Beauty Breakthrough Awards. And I just love the way that it makes my hair feel, the way that it makes my hair look. It's really natural and keeps me from having to wash my hair very often, because I try to only wash it a couple times a week to keep it as shiny and healthy as possible. So do what I did and make the switch to Living Proof by visiting livingproof.com/blonde and use the promo code blonde to get a free sample of their award-winning dry shampoo with your purchase. That's livingproof.com/blonde, promo code blonde for a free sample of dry shampoo with your purchase. livingproof.com/blonde, promo code blonde. So this whole spiritual stuff, the spiritual path that I've been on, how has that been for you guys? Because I got a lot of questions from people asking, what's it like? So like a lot of us who are very spiritual, we have parents or people in our lives who aren't. So how has that been for you to see me go down this path of spirituality, trusting the universe, doing ayahuasca and other plant medicine?
Well, it's very different for me because, a lot of times I'll think you're crazy, on some of the things that you decide to do and try. I mean, it's like,
how do you really feel? I'm just kidding.
But you're on your path, and it's who you are, and it's good for you. I mean,
it's your journey.
It's your journey. I mean, it's kind of like when I was growing up, a lot of my friends, we grew up in the 60s. So, they were like hippies and want to move to Santa Cruz and just kind of kick back and smoke weed and, do all those kinds of things. And it was never something that I understood or I couldn't afford to understand, So it's different, it's different. I mean, it's good to have, to believe, which I do. I was raised a Catholic, but some of the things that you're doing are different than I would have chosen,
What about
like
you?
Everything. Well, it's so different. I was raised Jewish, but I've learned a ton from you, and it's opened my eyes that really it doesn't matter what you believe or who you believe in. It's as long as you are a good person and you do believe in something. But everyone's different. I respect what you do and what you believe and what you're looking into. And I hope you respect that we're not exactly the same, but who's to say? I mean, who's right and who's wrong? But I have learned a lot and from you, and you've opened my mind a lot to new possibilities.
I like
Although
that.
I still really worry about certain things like ayahuasca.
But it helped you a lot when we were at the doctor's office. My Lyme doctor, who's the greatest, such a brilliant doctor, very educated on all things health and wellness, and especially Lyme disease and co-infections. And she was telling you all of the amazing benefits of ayahuasca
and that did make
and the
me feel a lot
scientific
better.
research on how safe it is and how it makes people feel so much better about their life.
It did. I mean, that was very helpful. Made me feel a lot better, but it's still, I don't know, it's just ingrained in me as a mom and as a child of the generation of drugs. And it's just, I can't help it. It just still scares me a little. But I'm resigned to the fact that you're going to do it. You're going to do what you want to do. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And you have been okay. And it's all worked out for you. And as long as you're happy and healthy, just got to get you healthy. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, it's unknown for us, for our generation. We hear some of the things that you talk about doing and we question, we roll our eyes. We kind of, is that safe? Is that really good for you? Is that going to help? Is that, but, like your doctor says, you're doing all the right things. So we have to respect that. And coming from someone like herself, so makes us more comfortable.
Yeah.
And but it's not something that I would want to do.
Yeah, you're
like
certainly
you're
working hard.
Oh, you need to go to ayahuasca. You need to do this. You need to do that. That's not going to happen.
No.
Maybe.
But I like how hard you're working at trying to get better.
Yes.
And you're exploring every possibility. And that's great. That's awesome.
Yes. And when I've done ayahuasca and I've been with all of our ancestors, don't you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you believe that because I've literally been with them.
So I have to believe you. I have a hard time understanding that, but, or seeing that. But, that's a good thing.
Yeah. No, yeah. Like I said, who's to say?
Right.
What is real? What can really happen? And I've been proven wrong on a lot of my beliefs. So I'm trying to stay open to anything.
I love everything.
That.
I love that.
Like I said, you got to have someone to love, something to do, and something to believe in and wish for. So,
I love that.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, totally. So, other questions people had. How do you keep your marriage interesting after all these years?
Well, we have you that keeps us on our toes, keeps our life interesting.
True. I think I keep life pretty interesting.
We're together a lot now that since I've sold my business for 5.5 years ago. And so we become closer. We operate more almost as one. We kind of almost know what one's thinking.
We totally do.
Yeah. We're in tune.
I don't know why
we've
that
gotten
sounds so funny to me.
Closer as friends.
Oh, I like that.
And I think that this move to LA, or this partial move, has been like a boost to our relationship and our life. It's kind of put us in a different direction that's been fun and exciting and different.
No, it has. Yeah. I mean, it's like,
it's just
like
a whole new phase
down here helping you with what you do, so that you can have less stress and get well, and opens a new door for us, down here, so it kind of livens things up, in that degree.
Totally.
Yeah,
it does.
you're not just in your old stale life, I mean, day to day of doing the same things, so which is good. Yeah.
It's really good. I was just talking about that with Monica, colonic hydrotherapist, yesterday, saying, I can hardly remember my parents' life when they just lived in Sacramento, even though it wasn't that long ago. It was only less than a year ago before you were splitting your time. But I don't know. It just seems like life is way more fun now.
It really does. It was a nice added boost.
It was a very one-dimensional
It was
life
prompted
over there
by something bad, which was you getting sick. I mean, we had talked about doing it, but we were just talking and not doing anything. And this was the push that we needed, which is an unfortunate reason, but it had a very positive upside.
Well, I think all unfortunate things that happen have so many hidden blessings in them. And me getting sick has had so many hidden good things. But that was the first one. You guys moved here.
Which we made that decision like the day you were diagnosed.
I know. And then we found this building that we both live in. And we are so lucky that it was available at this time. Everything, I mean, living in the
really
flow,
fell into
you can't
place.
deny.
Well, we watched it. I watched it being constructed. So, I mean, it was kind of like easy. And of course, I wouldn't have wanted to move down here and moved into some old apartment or something of that nature.
I can't see you guys in something like that.
After getting through the shock of how much everything costs down here, this was the right choice. Yeah. And it was new, and you just lived down the street. It was close to where we wanted to be able to walk to everything. And so,
yeah, you guys are so trendy, walking to John and Vinny's for lunch.
Oh, yeah, that's us.
All your things.
It's fun. Yeah. It's been really, really fun.
Yeah, I think it definitely keeps life interesting, keeps your marriage interesting. So as far as me getting sick, how has that been for you guys? Or what was the good question that somebody asked? What was the hardest and most beautiful? Yeah.
Well, the hard part is obvious. Watching your child get sick and go through what you've been going through is the worst possible thing for a parent. But the good news was that, well, it explained a lot about, or the diagnosis at least explained a lot about how you've been feeling for many years. And watching the way you've handled it, I don't think I explained this to you before, but watching the way you've handled being sick has been enormously helpful to the way I handle it.
Wow.
Because you generally stay so positive and upbeat, and you don't, I mean, I know the hard parts, but your attitude has helped me keep a good attitude. And then watching you and seeing you help so many other people. And I've been a witness to people actually approaching you everywhere we go and telling you how much you've helped them or somebody in their family or somebody that they know. That's unbelievable. I mean, it's so rewarding for me. And so I can only imagine how it feels for you. And I'm so proud of that. And you really are doing and helping so many people that it's just such a positive.
Yeah, I love that. Daddy gets recognized at the doctor's office and other places. Hi, Byron.
Yeah. I like to keep a low profile, but
You don't have that option anymore.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking us the other night, Adam, Jonathan's brother, was like, he's still, because he doesn't have social media. Well, he has Facebook, but he doesn't have Instagram. So he'll say stuff like, I didn't know that you were verified on Instagram. What does that mean? Do you ever get approached in person? Do you ever get recognized? And then he was like, wait, Jonathan, do you ever get recognized? And I was like telling Adam, yes, Jonathan gets recognized every day. Every day at Erewhon, at Alfred, at Orange Theory, on the street. And he too likes to keep a low profile, but everybody's like, oh my God.
They say they like to keep a low profile, but I have a feeling there's a little part of them that likes it.
I'm like, come on, you guys love it in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, Jonathan loves, like, if anybody listening ever sees him, you should definitely go say hi, because he does love it. He feels so proud, and so do you.
Yeah, no, I'm very proud of you. I just, I'm more of a shy individual, but
yes and no.
Well,
I think you say that, but you're really not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I know you, then it's different, but if I don't, it's, I'm not one to be out there,
Yeah.
But back to how does it make us feel? It's very difficult to be a parent and not be able to fix things that are wrong with your children. I mean, when it becomes health, you can't buy health, it doesn't matter how much money you have. And so it's a scary process to have to go through, Yeah,
it is. It definitely is.
Yeah. But, fortunately, you're a fighter, and that's what you have to do. You got to continually fight and not get yourself down, because that's one of the worst things you can do. So you just stay strong. That's what you have to do. And that's what you do.
And she's found some great doctor and some lots of other great support.
Yeah. High Vibe Chronic Lyme Facebook group.
You have your tribe.
Yes. And all sorts of things that have helped.
Yes.
So, okay, more of a fun question now. Since I've been blogging for so many years now and tried so many products and introduced you guys to so many products, what is your favorite wellness product or tip or anything that I've introduced you to?
Well, right now I'm obsessed with the Silver Fern protein smoothie powder.
So good.
It's the chocolate one.
Yeah.
It's like every day I get to have like this amazing chocolate shake, and it's actually good for me.
Yeah. Full of probiotics.
Love it. And taking their probiotics and their digestive enzymes. And so that's been...
Yeah. No, that's probably
been a good
the
one.
First actual health product that we've really gotten serious about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we use our bullet every day.
The NutriBullet.
Yeah. So, the benefits of that. And
started getting colonics.
Yeah, you did. That makes me so happy.
I know
that you're on the colonic train. So good for you.
Yeah. No, it's fun getting all your tips and ideas and
the celery juice. That
I drink you've been drinking celery juice every morning. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
We pick and choose through all your ideas.
Mm-hmm.
We're just slow learners,
Yes. You like the French fries that I make with no salt and no oil.
We like those, yeah.
Yeah.
And
SOS. Yeah. That's
SOS
pretty
free.
tough to live by.
Yes, and until you have to, until you get so sick that you have to.
Yes.
You guys did have Impossible Burgers last night.
I really liked
Those
them.
looked really good.
Dad's not so sure about that.
Really? Did you not like it that much? You devoured
No, I
it.
mean, if I was, I probably wouldn't order that at a restaurant myself. I would,
He said he'd rather have normal hamburger and eat half.
The
And eat
regular.
half.
Yeah.
But no, it's weirdly
It's
like
so
hamburger.
much like
Yeah.
meat. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
weird, but there's some psychology, I guess, in my mind that you're eating some processed something,
Right,
that
right. There's a little processed for my liking. I mean, obviously, I can't eat it for various reasons, but I like the idea. Cutting down on meat consumption.
Right, which
we have considerably.
Definitely
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. That makes me happy. So, just a couple more questions. This is a question that Jonathan had, but I'm adding something to it. For each of you, you can answer separately. What is the best memory of your life and the worst memory of your life? He just wanted me to ask the worst, but I'm adding the best.
That's funny.
In fact, he said the saddest memory of your life, but I'm going to say worst.
The best day of my life was the day I delivered you.
Hell yeah.
The saddest or the worst? I had the day that pops into my mind was just a very traumatic day. Was a day that you woke up with 105 fever.
How old was I?
Like 3. And at the same time, I started getting calls from my mom's friends that she was home and she wasn't answering her door or phone. And nobody could connect with her. So I knew something was really wrong. Her car was in the garage and she wasn't answering. And you were really sick. And it was the weirdest day of being completely torn in half and trying to figure out what to do. That just stands out as just a
What was she doing?
day from hell. She was basically had passed out in her house and woke up but couldn't get to a phone.
Oh, that's awful.
And obviously lived by herself and could not call for help. And I wanted to run over there, of course, and we did, but I didn't know. I mean, I was terrified
Did you leave
about
me with
your
Nanny?
fever. No, it was coincidentally, Lisa and Jason happened to stop by our house. They weren't living in Sacramento, but they were in town, and they just came by to say hi, and I left you with them.
Really? When I was that sick?
Yeah.
Was that the first time we met, Jason?
I called the doctor's office and they told me what to give you. And so I loaded you up on something. And Dad and I drove over to my mom's house.
That's when she fell and she couldn't get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does
it was
sound
the start
like
of her getting
worst
obviously
memory.
very ill. And we brought we brought something in the car because we thought we were going to have to break a window to get in.
Did you?
But the woman across the street had a key. I have no idea why I didn't have one then. And that was just a terrible day. She ended up going to the hospital that day and was in the hospital for 2 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
that's
just
when
extremely
dialysis
stressful,
started. Is that basically
sad, terrifying day? You turned out to be okay in a day or two, but she stayed sick for the rest of her life.
Wow. Yeah, that's a bad day. I never knew about that.
That's a bad day. Yeah. Worst day.
What about you, Daddy? best and worst?
The best day of my life was probably when your mother and I got married. It was the start of my second life.
Yes.
Which has been amazing.
Yes.
You know.
Such a good life.
Such a good life. I've had a good life my whole life. I've had a lot of ups and downs, but I feel very fortunate to have come to where I am today. You know, very fortunate. So, and I don't know I've had some worse days, you know. Yeah, I don't know, you know, probably the DePaul debacle would...
The Ponzi scheme.
The Ponzi would be the hardest time to get through.
Yeah. That was not a good time.
No, that wasn't
bad.
any fun. So that's probably the worst, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Thought you would say that. Didn't think you would say yours, Mom. I thought you would say a different one.
Yeah. That's the first one that popped in my mind as just a bad day. But yeah, I've had another incident that changed my life that has been like the saddest, hardest thing. We'll get into that story on the next podcast.
Yeah, I agree.
The next episode.
Yeah.
So let's end on a high note.
Let's do that.
Versus a low note.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about...
I'm sitting here with Jordan and Byron thinking how fortunate we are all to be here. And Jordan is looking pretty darn good today. I think has a little more energy than she had last week.
Mm-hmm.
And is on a great path again.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, actually, I think... Well, I don't want to jinx anything or be wrong about anything. But one thing that I think might be helping, just because I noticed I've had like 3, this being the 3rd, like pretty good energy days in a row, is that I'm on a new dosage of thyroid ever since we saw Dr. Lehman on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking a little bit more. And I don't know.
She said that might happen.
I know, but when she said how much I was increasing by such a small amount, I was like disappointed just because I didn't think it would make that big of a difference. So who knows? Because
but she said, small amounts.
I never know what's working. Also, I think the stem cells a couple weeks ago might be making some of my symptoms less bad. So that's good.
It's awesome.
Well, yeah, she did a lot of combinations of things the other day to change you around. And so,
yeah,
you can only hope that, you know, those kind of changes that she does from time to time will eventually get you to where you need to be.
Yeah.
You know, so, which is a good thing.
Totally.
Got to get all better for a wedding.
I know.
That's right.
It's going to be so fun.
Coming so quickly. It'll be here before you know it.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And we went on such a nice hike yesterday, the 3 of us. I loved it.
That was nice.
That's the high note that
perfect.
I will mention.
Beautiful day.
Oh my God, I know. I wish it was that sunny out today. It looks really gloomy.
Struggling with the sun today, you know.
Yeah. How strange.
But the weather's been beautiful.
Yeah. Totes.
And just that can make you feel better.
I know. It's so true. That's why I was actually wishing it was sunny today, but that's fine. So I'll finish with asking you guys a question that I ask everyone who comes on the podcast.
Not the color question.
Why?
You asked that last time.
The color
But
question.
what color do you feel like today?
Today I'm definitely pink.
Yeah, you are. You're wearing
all pink.
Aloe head to toe.
Yes.
And it looks,
I'm loving all my new aloe.
Looks very nice on you.
Thank you, honey.
Very nice.
What color are you?
I'm always a good red day. You know?
You are?
Yeah.
Is that what you've said before?
I can't remember. But,
Me neither.
red is kind of like you're ready to go. Let's rev it up,
Totes.
Yeah.
How about you, Judge?
Put on your red dress, baby.
You're the red dress dancing emoji.
I love that emoji.
What am I? Purple.
Purple?
Because when I close my eyes, I see purple in my
purple
third
haze,
eye. Huh? And yeah, I still see it. I see it right here. When I close my eyes, I always do. So purple.
Purple?
Is that why you've been using the purple heart emoji?
Have I?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, when?
Well, you were wearing
I believe you.
That purple aloe.
Oh, well, that just went with the outfit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like to use the purple heart emoji and the unicorn emoji.
Yeah, you do. Those are cute.
I feel like a unicorn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming on. So fun.
Thanks for
Love you
asking
guys.
us. It was
Thanks
fun.
for sharing your stories.
Our pleasure.
Mwah.
Love you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode with my amazing parents. I hope you learned a little something about them and about me and about keeping a marriage healthy and alive for 35 years and just about what it's like to have a daughter with chronic illness and have a daughter who's so into spirituality, because I'm sure a lot of people listening are very much like me and curious about how to get their parents supportive and on board with everything that they're into. And maybe some of you listening are parents of daughters or children who are like me. So I hope this was interesting to you in one way or another and just fun to learn about two people who are so influential in my life. They're both longtime entrepreneurs, which is why I feel I have such entrepreneurial blood in me. And they've both been on this podcast before. So you can listen to the episode that I did with my dad just a few months ago. I'm looking right now to see which number episode that was, 113. So you can go to episode 113 to listen to that. And then I've had my mom on a bunch of times. She's been episode number 2, which I probably don't recommend listening to because I didn't even know how to edit the sound yet. Episode 102 and definitely a few others. So check those out. This was super fun and I'm just so grateful to have you here. So thank you to our sponsors, Hum Nutrition, Art of Tea, and Living Proof. We'll have all of the discount codes for those in the show notes. And lastly, if you feel inspired to rate and review the show, send me a screenshot to jordan@thebalancedblonde.com and I'll send you my yoga ebook as a thank you and chat with you on email. I'm just so grateful for anyone who takes the time. And yeah, so we'll see. I'm going to keep toying around with this downtime that I'm doing. So maybe we'll have an episode out next week, potentially not. And I can't wait to be healthy again and get completely back to my regular schedule. And I love you guys. Sending you all my best to have the most soul on fire day possible. Mwah. Talk to you soon.